Use up all the gas in the I'll show you. This happened years ago when I was still a teenager. I had my first job after high school. The only drag was I had to share a car with my brother. I worked early, morning 7 a.m. to about 4 or 5, and my brother worked evenings and overnights, so the car sharing worked well except for one thing. My brother had the habit of using up all the gas in the car every single night. I would get ready for work and he would pull in quite often just about the time I needed to leave to get to work on time, jump out of the car and zip inside. I would get in only to find the car was running on fumes, so would stop and fill it on my way to work to make sure I made it. After weeks of this going on, I figured out the gas usage and the mileage to work and how much as I needed to get there and back. So the next morning as I pulled into the station, the guy asked me, "Fill it right?" As I was there every day, he recognized me. I replied, "Nope, just 2 today." So off I went to work and got home, and there was my brother tapping his foot as he wanted to go out with friends. I jumped out and beat it inside. No less than 30 seconds, and he comes storming in the door demanding to know why there was no gas in the car and didn't I put gas in it this morning. I told him I was tired of filling the car every day and yes, I had put his in. He then demanded to know how much. 2, I told him. Meanwhile, my dad was sitting at the kitchen table listening and asked me if I really only put 2 inches. I told him I was tired of brother joyriding all the gas out every single night, so I only put what I needed in and he could then buy his own gas. My dad erupted in laughter while my brother sputtered about how was he going to get anywhere. Dad told him I had finally outmaneuvered him and he better pull up his socks and learn from this lesson. I never got the car with fumes again. Classic. And your dad's reaction makes it even better. Maybe on your brother's next birthday you buy him a gas can as a subtle reminder of fun times. Oh, I don't talk to referred to as the idiot by me when people ask how many sibs I have. 2 idiots. The drug addict and my eldest brother is how I name them. Which one is the one referred to in this story? Hess referred to as the idiot by me. So the drug addict is not an idiot? I have 4 siblings. He is idiot 1 because Hess the bigger idiot of the 2. The addict is my sister. And my brother is the only one I have a relationship with. Okay, gotcha. Do you know how they refer to you? The terrible speller. You. Take my poor man's gold. You had him fuming. LOL. Hell, I would have been putting in just the gas I needed to get to work and back the second time I found only fumes in the tank. You were far too forgiving for too long. Lol, same. Beep that noise. It's like basic peeping courtesy. And then he has the gall to be like, "Where's my free gas?" GTFO. What was your brother doing that required so much fuel? Joyriding. It was a Ford Granada, so it didn't have a huge tank, but when you're a kid making 5 an hour and Hess making easily 2x that and using up 15 of gas and night gas was under 1 a gallon, then that was a lot of joyriding. My first car was a 76 Ford Granada. By the time it became mine, it was filled with oil and checked the gas every day. The exhaust blew into the vehicle through the AC vents. Windows always had to be down to keep people from passing out. No AC or heat. Holes rusted through in a dozen places. I loved and hated it at the same time. I drive a 2016 Equinox and my exhaust blows through my air vents. Don't forget to leave your windows down. One time I lent my car to a former friend and it was nearly empty. I said to please fill it up. They brought it back and I had to immediately go out. I got in assuming on a full tank and was pissed that it was even emptier. I went back in demanding cash and they immediately handed it over. So, it wasn't like this friend was broke. They just didn't feel like waiting in a gas line. I never let them touch it again. I'm just impressed you got money from your friend at all. My father did this to me. I was going to college and working full-time on a second shift. He took my car for a minor repair, returned it to me at work and left. I got off work at 1:30 a.m. There was nothing open that time of night. The only option was to go back to the dorm. About halfway there it ran out of gas on a country road, which was the closest way to get to the dorm room. Had to walk 2 miles to the dorm, having been up since 7:00 a.m. in the morning before. I guess your brother didn't like having to be responsible. X used to borrow my van when he needed a big car. I told him to fill it up when he was done. He would return it and hand me cash. No dumffep. Put gas in the car so I don't have to do it. I eventually told him if he couldn't put gas in the car, he couldn't use it anymore. My mom has some irrational fear that if she puts gas in her car she will explode. She's worried cause she heard once that someone touched the pump and had a small static electricity shock that blew up the entire gas station. Anyways, it's become my job to fill it up. Sadly, she doesn't seem to understand how much of a hassle it is for me to make special trips to the gas station. She acts like me getting gas in my car is the same thing. But I had to let her know that it's easier for me to get gas in my car cause I'm already in when I'm working. So when I get a break I can easily get gas. Sadly she also has a fear of running out of gas, so when she gets to half a tank she starts freaking out like she's gonna run out of gas on her next trip. I feel your brother owes you several weeks of gas. Especially if you filled it up every day for weeks. Truly a taste of their own medicine. Good for you. Thanks for bringing back some bad memories/s. My father had 2 ironclad rules for the family. The first was that if you were going to be late you called and let someone know. And the second was if you used the car it had to have at least a half a tank of gas when you brought it back. My younger brother violated both of these regularly and got reamed for it, but not enough to change his behavior. To make this short, on his 18th birthday he and his friends went out of town to get loaded. My parents were away and I was spending the night and doing homework and just loafing. Then I get a drunken call. Apparently brother's friends ditched him and he was stranded about 50 miles away. I needed to come and get him. None too pleased I get some directions and tell the little speep to be waiting outside when I come by. There's not going to be any place to park and I want to get him and go back home ASAP. I hope mom and dad don't call. I'd told them I was staying in and if I wasn't there to answer the phone they might get worried. The first problem I have is when I start the car it's damn near empty. The little turd had gone joyriding with his idiot friends and brought it back that way. I have little money but knew dad kept a spare 20 bill for such emergencies. I get it and go out to get gas. Here's another major problem. There had been a recent rash of gas station holdups, so most stations would not take cash after dark. Credit cards only. So I'm driving around trying to find a station that will take cash and watching the gas gauge get lower and lower. I got real lucky and find a station where the attendant working is a buddy from college. He agrees to take the 20 but no change if I can't use it all. Fortunately the tank is empty enough that I do use it all. I thank friend profusely and head out to get my brother. Between this and a wreck on the way my ETA went completely out the window. I get to the bar and no brother. I drive around the block several times and still no brother. Finally I have no choice but to park and go get him. I finally managed to find a spot about 5 blocks away. I walk this muttering a lot of 4-letter words under my breath. Little Speep is sitting at the bar when I come in. I walk up and slap him on the back of the head. Hey asshole, what part of outside does this look like? You were late. No Speep, because you left me with an empty tank again. It took time to get gas. Incoherent mumbling. Come on jackass. Where's the car? About 5 blocks away. Hurry up. Come and get me. I look him in the eye. Either you come or I swear I will leave you here. Little Speep follows me, stumbling about every 3rd step. I'm praying for death. If not him then me. We get to the car, get in and head home. When we get back he stumbles upstairs, falls in his bed and passes out. Not a single thank you either. Mom and dad had been calling. Luckily they called back not too long after we got back and I explained the situation. Dad wasn't happy. When they got back the next day dad demanded a full accounting of what happened. I cheerfully threw brother under the bus. Dad grounded brother for all the hell he'd put me through. He also was told if he ever left the car empty again he would not be allowed to use it again. Brother did straighten out a bit after that but not completely. That took another event in college to finally get him on the straight and narrow. Well damn. Now I want to know what made him straighten out. As I don't want to retype it. https://n0 always right. C0m/Karen can 0t abide law breaking wait /2131778/ change the 0 to O. It's about 15 posts down under the name Jeremy Edwards. Nice. Also, sharing a car. I couldn't imagine Yeah, it sucked but at least our parents had it for us till we each saved up money to buy a car. I bought my first id. Well sure, then the shared car becomes solely his. Why should he be in a hurry to buy a car then? Got it and also didn't move out of my parents' joust till 32 when my mum had to do his banking for him so he would save money. Lol. Love this. My husband's almost sister-in-law did the same thing. We needed to use her car which she hardly used as purely A to B for work. She said sure. We used maybe $2 of gas to go to the store the very first time we used the car and she lost it. Called us out in the living room. Yelling about how she was a college student and couldn't afford this bill, paid most everything, so he said okay. Every time we used the car maybe 5 times total. He cut the gas and mileage and after the day had fill it up $2 to $5 and give her the receipt. She was mad we didn't just fill it up all the way knowing she was actually asking us to cover her driving. Lamau. Your brother's young it seemed at the time so I hope Hess learned his lessons. People like you in that situation don't always outwit and end up salty. Your dad's reaction is gold. I love your intellect. Good luck. Well played. Beautiful. Applauds, well played. All the respect. In my Rodney Dangerfield voice. Great father too. Ask him if he needed a lift. I work with assholes. Good dad.